welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference. A new era of the SEC begins in 2024 on ESPN and ABC.
Tonight, Florida's swamp stands directly in the path of a perfect season for the Gators' arch rivals from Florida State. An old rivalry and a very high-impact chapter tonight in front of a packed house on a soggy evening in Gainesville. Coaches in different situations. Billy Napier just trying to get to 6-6 in a bowl game. Mike Norvell and the Noles already booked a spot in the conference championship game next week. They're thinking CFB. Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by IHG Hotels and Resorts. In this presentation of the SEC on ESPN. This is part of Rivalry Week, presented by the Mazda CX-90. And on Rivalry Week, there are no sure things, no foregone conclusions, Kirk Herbstreit. Here's our reaction watching the end of the Alabama's answered prayer. 4th and goal from the 31 at Auburn. Jalen Milroe just made a terrible mistake to play before. That's funny stuff. You're punching me, by the way.
I had no idea, I mean, what just happened? Think about the play before. He's across the line by 4 yards, throws the ball. Alabama's going to lose, and then they're not. And that is not just a big play in a rivalry game. That keeps Alabama's hopes alive for an SEC championship, a playoff bid, and maybe a national title. Wow.
Washington struggling, by the way, against their rival.
Yeah.
So weird things can happen. The Gators are underdogs tonight. But there are some plot twists, and both star quarterbacks suffered serious injuries last week. So instead of Jordan Travis and Graham Mertz, we'll see Tate Rodemaker for Florida State, who's a fourth-year junior. Had some experience. He's played some meaningful snaps. And for the Gators, it's Max Brown, who's just barely getting his feet wet, a Redford freshman.
Yeah, let's start with Tate Rodemaker because you mentioned the experience. It's a very different set of circumstances. Obviously, Florida State's undefeated. They're enjoying a magical year. You take away your heart and soul in Jordan Travis, and now you got to go to Rodemaker. Now, don't just think that, okay, well, Rodemaker's out there, Florida State's done. Let's evaluate Florida State, much like we did in 2014 when we evaluated Ohio State when they lost J.T. Barrett and Cardale Jones came in and they put 59 on Wisconsin. Ohio State ends up getting to the playoff. That's what Florida State needs to see tonight and then in Charlotte next week when they play Louisville.
For the Florida side, of course, Graham Mertz, very steady performer. He's been efficient. He's not a dual threat guy. And now Brown comes in, and he's a very different style of quarterback. Can he hurt Florida State with his legs tonight? They're very tough to throw the football on.
Yeah, you lose a leader. Graham Mertz came over from Wisconsin, and really he took over the team. The team respected him. Max Brown is a guy, as a baseball player. You'll see that delivery where he looks like a baseball player. Dual threat. Billy Napier knows how to attack with a guy who's different than Graham Mertz. You're going to see him get on the edge. You're going to see quarterback run, which we haven't seen all year from Florida. How does Florida State's defense defend that style when they don't really know what's coming at them? Will be interesting.
These guys both sound confident. They say they've done the preparation, put in the work to be ready for this moment. Both say it's kind of like a dream to be thrown into a rivalry game and carry your team's hopes. What'll happen tonight in the swamp? Who knows? It's already been a wild day in college football. The Seminoles and the Gators. High-impact game from Gainesville.
You're watching Rivalry Week, presented by the Mazda CX-90.
Florida State Seminoles trying to stretch their 17-game winning streak, having lost a game in more than a year, and take a step towards the college football playoff. Mike Norvell is with Holly Rowe.
Well, Coach, a lot of the attention this week has been on what you've lost, one of your great leaders and your quarterback. But what have you said to your kids about what you have in place to win this game tonight?
We have a football team, and we got a great group of young men. I mean, they work so hard. This is a huge game. It's a big game for our program, for our university. I mean, this is a 365-day-a-year game. You got to prepare to go be your best. I know our guys are excited to compete. Definitely looking forward to seeing them compete together.
Tate Rodemaker has been in your program for a while, but not been in a big moment like this. What do you expect from him tonight?
I expect him to play big. You know, he's prepared for it. He's worked for it. He's ready for this moment because it's his time.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks so much.
Mike Norvell inherited a mess, but he has built a very strong culture. He's got a veteran team. They've come from all parts of the country through the portal to support Rodemaker, and he believes that support group will help this young quarterback.
Now, this is where you get tested, and I really agree with your point on what he inherited and where he's taken his program. And I think he's very confident to have a week to work with Rodemaker in comparison to last week when he had to go in. So they have a plan. Now you just hope the players around the new quarterback that doesn't have a lot of experience step up and take that pressure off of him.
Can the swamp make a difference for the Gators? We were here when they took on Tennessee, and it certainly made a difference. Florida State won the toss and deferred, so you'll see Max Brown, who was bouncing around down there. 62 degrees, just a slight breeze. It was rainy earlier, not expected to rain this evening. Gators have not had the kind of season they hoped for, sitting there at 5-6, but they're more than spoilers. They'd like to get to 6-6, get to a bowl game. But they'd also like to spoil the Seminoles' perfect season, don't get me wrong. Ryan Fitzgerald to boot it away. And Trevor Etienne, their talented tailback, who's been on a tear lately, is deep to receive the kickoff. And a strange day. Can the Seminoles survive? Or will it take an adventure to do so like it did for Alabama? And Fitzgerald's kick lands beyond the end line. So